Welcome to Mark Bajerski Crystal's channel. It's so appropriate right now for me to talk about something that I haven't really talked about on here, and that is who is Mark and why even talk about crystals. And you probably don't know me as an actual crystal healer per se. You'll know me as maybe the guy who talks about life and how the emotions affect the physical and so on, talking about maybe ghosts or extraterrestrials. I talk about all sorts of things, but not really specifically talking about what my job is and what I did over the years that I worked as a healer. Some people call themselves healers, some people call themselves crystal healers. They're all healers, they're just using different tools. The tools that I used were a kind of systematical breakdown of what doesn't work for me to what does work. So it was like one day I would try X and the other day I'd try Z and see what would happen through the experience of healing. So every client that would come to me would lie down on the healing bed and I would begin a process of healing, hands-on healing, which would be maybe 2 or 3. When I say hands-on, I don't mean physically touch, but maybe a few inches away, maybe this far away, depending on what kind of energy I was working with at that point. And within the beginning of my journey, I was introduced to crystals. Crystals didn't really play a part in my life at all until the point that I realized that naturally, organically, I was holding crystals while I was doing healing sessions. They were in my pocket because they were gifted to me, because in this kind of field of work, it comes hand in hand. So when I became a healer or started to become a healer and experience healing, people would automatically gift me a crystal. And I wasn't really sure about them, but I had them with me. And slowly but surely, I realized that these play a vital role in the healing process. So I did really become a crystal healer. However, I didn't like to limit myself by just saying I'm a crystal healer. So I was a healer, a spiritual healer. That's the only word I kind of used. And sometimes I used the word psychic, which I didn't particularly like too much, but a healer was what I was. And I was on, and there is no ego in there, because if you're a cook, you're a cook. If you might not be a good cook, but in time you might be. Well, that was the same with me. I was a healer. People used to say, "Are you a good healer?" I don't know. Ask my last client. So it was like people would judge straight away. But sometimes, it was like at the beginning of my healing, when I was using crystals, I was getting such good hits, and hits meaning that this was working. And the crystals that I would use, it would be like every day was like a teaching day for me. Every day I learned through the whole of my 2 decades of each crystal would have a specific frequency, but sometimes that frequency would change with each client. So I realized then that crystals don't work in the way that people believe they work, which is I buy a book by Judy Hall, and what it says in there is how it works. It doesn't work like that at all. That's just one understanding of many different healers who talk about their experience, because Judy used to pick up her experiences through other healers and through people who had crystal shops and stuff, because I knew this firsthand. And obviously she probably went through experience as well, so she utilized all of these things. Myself as a healer, I never listened to other people. I just worked on my clients. So I didn't listen to other people's books and videos. I thought, I want to learn myself. I want to understand it myself. I don't want to just follow, because there were times when people had said to me, this crystal does that. And I'd think, well, I never experienced that. Yeah, it says it in the book. Yeah, I know, but my client didn't experience that. My client experienced this. Hold it. Oh my God, you're right. It's completely different from the book. Yeah, so the books and the way people teach healing practices are very, very different from what your experience will be. Therefore, I took that knowledge, this knowledge of experience, and created something which is called the 4-day Pure Energy Crystal Healing course. And this course is based on clearing away the myths of how to use a crystal and what that crystal does. It explains that the power of your intuition, the power that flows through you, through the universal cosmos, whatever you call it, whether it's sauce. I joke about it. I call it HP or Worcester sauce. People get very angry when I talk about joking when we should be serious. But my work is not serious. It's light-hearted, but extremely important. So I keep the energy high by lightening things and not putting too much negativity and fear into people. Imagine if I look at you with this, like everything's got to be serious. The first thing you're going to do is feel serious. So everything to me is light-hearted. But when I do my work, you see at the end of it, it's nothing like light-hearted because we're doing the work. But the work speaks for itself. What I share with you is my 20 years of knowledge in these 4 days. And it literally is 4 days of my hits, meaning my deep understanding of when clients were healed. So in 4 days, you're receiving everything that I learned in 20 years and the 20 years of all the other things that weren't necessary that I had to go through is now simply a message to you in them 4 days that says, don't worry about this because that doesn't affect you. This won't have any impact. Try this, do this. And by my understanding, which is the flow, which is of the trust in you and bringing the power out and the wisdom that you hold, these 4 days changes lives. So I'm really pleased today to be able to share with you that for the first time ever in 20 years that we as the Pure Energy Healing Academy have created a 4-day intensive, really beautiful, uplifting course. Now, you're going to think it's limited, but it isn't. It's actually so impacting and so pulling that you will feel in these 4 days that you are right with us in this room. And at the end of every day, you will be able to speak to me directly and I'll be able to answer anything that you're unsure with. So what I would say to you is if this course feels right, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, if it feels right, then follow that gut feeling if you want to. And at that point, clear those 4 days in your life, meaning tell your family and your loved ones and your friends to leave you alone in them 4 days so you can fully focus on Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So if you work full time, just take a couple of days off. Just say I'd like 2 days off. It's something that I'd really love to do, which a lot of people have done over the years because you've got Saturday and Sunday. So Thursday you begin and it's an amazing day. You'll receive the info and then you click on the link. It's really simple. And then the video comes up and I introduce myself and then we begin that day. And every time you've watched a video, another link comes up and you click that one. It's so easy to understand. But we're there to help you through them 4 days. So we are all there as a team. So any questions you've got, we're there all the time to help you through it. And at the end of the day, we all sit down together, get a cup of tea and we have a chat. And we talk face to face online and prepare you for the following day. And then the following day comes. I don't want to spoil it too much, but what I want to say is if it feels right, then I will see you in a couple of weeks. And the link will be below. It's below here, one link only. And it's to the Pure Energy Healing Crystal course. What could be more beautiful than putting it on here for the first time? Because this is Mark Bajerski Crystals. It's time to move up. Maybe it's your time. See you there. See you there.